there is a crank sensor. There's crank sensor here, which I'm showing is coming from the plastic. It's a new crank sensor for the BM. There's crank sensor here. This is a new crank sensor. One bolt here. It's an Allen key. So the crank sensor, let's just put it in. You can see the crank sensor is new. There's new here. We remove all this junk from the thing here so that we don't have the crank sensor. Now I'll show you where the crank sensor goes. Now if you look very careful, this is the wire for the crank sensor that is coming to here. There it is. There it is. Yeah. This is the crank sensor wire. No, this is the crank sensor wire. This one here. Goes right straight down here. Right straight down here. Show them here. This side. Yeah. You see there? Yeah. Are you pointing right straight inside the hole? Right. That's where the connection is. And this is the same connection. So if I take it out, I press, I pull. So I need to use two hands here. Other hand comes here. And the other hands can come like this. Okay, I don't know where to put this other hand. Okay, I don't know. Because I need to, I don't want to take the intake out. Because the best way is to take the intake out, but I'm not going to take the intake out. Let me forward the crank sensor. Crank sensor out here. There's a crank sensor. So I will plug the crank sensor out here. I'm just trying to hold the other wire that is going the other side of the engine to take out the crank sensor. The crank sensor. Yeah. That's the crank sensor. Yeah, that's the crank sensor. That's the port here. Similar ports, you see. Now I will take out the crank sensor. If you look very careful, there is the wire. Now it goes right straight here, and it comes here, inside here. Yeah. That's the Allen key. There's an Allen key down here. So I guess, I don't know the size, it looks like 5mm Allen key. This 5 here. This is a 5mm Allen key. I'll try to put it here and feel it if I can take out the crank sensor for the car, 5mm. Can I fit 5mm here? Let me see, can I fit 5mm? There is 5mm. I have to be this side here. Right, okay. Right orientation. Okay, 5mm on the crank. Yes, it's 5mm. Then I release it. It's a release. I can feel it. Now you take out your, then you can take out with your finger, because the bolt is very small. Why am I removing this crank sensor? Because I have a problem. The car is not starting, it's delaying to start. That's why I'm taking out the crank sensor. When you remove this bolt, you must be extra careful. It can fall inside the car. So you don't want that to happen, and you spend the whole night looking for the bolt. So this is the bolt here that goes with a 5mm. 5mm. There you go. This bolt goes straight here. Yeah. Then you can take out, let's take out our friend here. There's a crank sensor is out. And then, oh God, I have got a problem. The problem is the water pipe. It's affecting. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, where are you going? Then be careful of the water pipes. This is my crank sensor. You can see the crank sensor. There's a problem here. I have to solder here. You can feel it. It's hard here. The crank sensor. So there's a joint here which I don't like, which is giving me problems. So you can see that. But before I put the crank sensor, I clean the conduct here where I am going to put the crank sensor. I clean here and make sure it's clean. I don't want it dirty, because I'm gonna put the crank sensor here. Now if I'm putting the crank sensor, be careful of the bolt. The first thing I'll do is to make sure the wire goes in. So I will make sure the wire, remember, the crank sensor goes like this underneath here, and it comes. So play with the wire. The wire goes here. Right, it's in. There's the wire, goes through here. Now let's play with the crank sensor. Okay, the wire. Okay, push the crank sensor until it's in position. There we go. Our crank sensor is in. Now the crank sensor is in here. Okay, put your bolt by hand. This bolt here. Be careful. Do not make it fall. You don't want to sleep outside looking for the bolt the whole night. You don't want that to happen. So be careful of the bolt. Hey, Mr. Bolt. Okay, you can lift the crank sensor just a little bit up so that the bolt is aligned, so that you can look for the point where it goes in. Be careful of the water pipes. Whenever you put your crank sensor, you must be careful of the water pipes. I'm putting the crank sensor. I have to do guesswork whether my board is getting in. Allen board, yeah. It looks like. Yeah, I win. Then I will push it with my fingers until I cannot run it anymore. Push it with my fingers in. Push it with my fingers in. Until it runs anymore. There we go. It's there. Then I take my Allen key. I tighten just a little bit. Tighten just a little bit. There's no space on the car, so there's no space in the car. Remember? No space in the car. Like this. I haven't tightened it. You don't really need to tighten it, like you're just making a conduct so that there's a conduct. It's tight now. Right. Now, what's left is make sure the wire is running properly. I don't know where the clip is that was holding the crank sensor in position. But anyway, no problem with that. I don't know now where I can put this crank sensor wire. You can go straight down here. You can push it there like it goes here. Crank sensor wire. There we go.